Hello, N4HNH here with the Yaesu FTdx10. I want to show you a little something about the display. I want to go a little bit deeper in this area up here, the top right below the frequency. This is where the radio will display your filter settings. So for example, if I move my shift control, you'll see that the band pass area shows it shifting. If you adjust the width, you'll see it narrow. So right now I'm on the 500 Hertz filter for CW. Now the letter P, by the way, up there just indicates that we're in CW mode. All right, so let me go back. All right, so there we are at 500 Hertz. Now, I was hoping this guy would continue sending. I may have to find somebody else. But anyway, I want to show you, as far as CW goes, ways to clear up the noise. I was listening to a QSO a minute ago that I needed amp 2 because one of the stations was so buried that I needed that extra sensitivity. Now let me let you hear it with amp 1. And amp 1 gives you a more accurate signal reading. The radios are calibrated at 14.2 megahertz. See, I can't hear the other station. We don't have propagation to wherever he is. There was one earlier that was, well, let me try a 300 Hertz filter. Oh wow, there he is, barely. Well, you can see there how the filtering makes the difference whether you can pull somebody out or not. That's great. Now what I want to draw your attention to, I'm using the DNR at level 15, and I'll tell you why. Hear all the filter ripple, the ringing? So that helps alleviate some of the filter ripple. And now I'm going to enable APF, audio peak filter. But see, it's going to usually bring in a little more filter ripple too if you've got the gain set pretty high like I do. Now this is the stronger of the two stations, so when the weaker one comes back, I'll stop talking. Right now I'm going to go ahead and explain something to you. If you've been watching my channel very long, all right, well, hang on. If you've been watching my channel very long, you've heard about my notch trick. So let me turn the notch back off. That's manual notch. Now all you have to do is, let me pan down for a second. You don't actually have to turn on notch first by pressing the notch button. You can just rotate the knob here, this knob. Hope you can see it. I've got the display brightness set, the brightness is set for you to see the display better. But the knob right here, if you just start rotating the knob, not the ring is your contour or your APF, but this here knob, if you just start rotating it, watch, okay, notch is not turned on, and now you see the LED came on for notch. If you just start rotating it, it enables notch. Okay, back up to the screen so you can see better. So notch off. Now all I'm going to do is rotate that knob. And so my side tone is set at 600 Hertz. I generally will set my notch then to 520, 80 Hertz below what the side tone frequency is. So the APF, audio peak filter, by its very nature, will boost whatever frequency you've got your side tone set to, and filter ripple, that ringing sound, is your side tone frequency. So it helps you, but it works against you a little bit. The main source of the ringing, though, has to do with gain stages. It has to do with how much signal you're pushing into the filters. You see, the filter comes after the attenuation in the amplifiers. Or no amplifier. Remember, IPO is no amplifier. But you see, that hurts the sensitivity of the radio. I mean, we can hear him fine. He's strong enough to overcome it. But, you know, so he would probably be okay at amp 1. But if you need amp 2 for the extra sensitivity, like with that first station, then you're going to introduce a little bit more filter ripple as well. So you can combat that by using your notch filter. Now, what I want you to see in this video is up here in this area. I'm going to turn off APF and you'll see something go away there. It switched over to contour. See that? And contour can help too. It just doesn't. Notice how his volume dropped? But if you set the contour at about 200 to 250 hertz, you know, look here, with his signal, he's strong enough I can even make it to 350. You don't want to go to you don't want to get to 600 because now you're diminishing your side tone. But now let me turn contour off. And I've turned off manual notch. So you can see by the filter image there, that's basically showing you the shape of your filter. Now here it is at its default 300 hertz. Remember, I'm using the 300 hertz filter. I mean, listen to it with the 500. If you notice that little blue line right there, see that little blue line at the bottom of that orange line? That is indicating your filter width. Now watch that blue line change in width when I switch from 500 to 300. See, it narrows. And of course you can see the filter narrow in the image there as well. Look again, 500, and see the blue line? That blue line is generally corresponding to the peak of the filter. It's not exactly accurate, but that's the idea. So here we go. I'm going to click and go back to 300. You see it narrows here, which is roughly approximating the width of the filter here. But see, filters have a slope to them here. And the steepness of that slope can cause this ripple, this ringing effect. So, and then again, it's magnified if I engage audio peak filter. It makes him louder, but it's also going to bring that ringing sound up a little bit higher too. There's no APF. APF, audio peak filter. So this is where the notch trick comes in. See that DV there that's moving on the screen up there? So your ripple is coming from the skirts right here. It's called the skirts of the filter. And I love how you have a visual here to be able to explain this. What we're doing is we're moving that notch as close as we can to the side tone frequency, which is 600, right? Without completely knocking it out. See what happens? I just knocked it all out. I've got to leave enough in there to hear him. See, the further away you get from it, the more of the ripple you're going to hear, the ringing. See, we knocked him completely out. He comes back at about 570. Not bad. That's a pretty good notch filter, really, to be that tight. But, you know, generally somewhere between 520 and 540 is enough. And again, you can see now with the visual, what's happening is that ringing that's coming from that portion of the filter is now being subdued. It's minimized. Now you might be wondering, well, what about on the top side? What about the ripple that you would be getting from that side? True enough, but I'll show you, and I've covered this in a previous video. I'm going to go into the CW setting, and you'll notice that I've got my high cut frequency here set to 700 hertz. So I'm already helping the radio knock down the ripple that would come from the higher side of the filter by using the audio setting. High cut frequency 700 hertz, high cut slope 18 dB, that's the maximum. Minimum being 6 dB. So by using 18 dB per octave of slope, cutting the slope, if you will, it's attenuating at 18 dBs per octave. I'm doing that at 700 hertz. Now that happens to be the lowest you can go with that, but I really wouldn't want to go much lower than 650 anyway, because that's getting close to my side tone. I do wish Yaesu would have allowed this to go down to 650. That would be a nice improvement in the future, because I think we could get away with down to 650 and still be able to hear them just fine. But hey, this helps. So again, high cut frequency 700 hertz, high cut slope 18 dB. So that is taking care of the ripple we would be getting from the top side here. Now, as far as low cut, I should go back in there and show you. The low cut is at 500. So I'm 100 hertz below what my side tone is and 100 hertz above what my side tone is. And again, I'm cutting at 18 dB per octave. So here, I might get away with starting the low frequency roll off at 600 hertz, because you're not going to knock it down instantly at 600 hertz. Remember, I'm listening at 600 hertz, so you would think, well, here I'm going to knock it down, but not really, because of, there's a slope to that, and it's 18 dB per octave. So you could get away with setting that at 600 if you want to, but I've just got it evened out. 500 on the low cut, 700 on the high cut, both sloping off at 18 dB per octave, so it's even, balanced. And again, the biggest part of this equation is the manual notch. And remember, with his signal, I was able to get away with 570. But generally, I would recommend that you start out at, say, 500 and then work your way up. And so the display here, watching up in here, this is really cool that it gives you that visual. Here's another weak signal. I just tapped the 0 in, the Zen button, so the radio would adjust the receive frequency to give me a 600 hertz tone with that other station. He's not moving the meter, so there's his real signal. And really, we're using amp 2, so we're amplifying his signal a little bit. It's probably not really S3. Okay, APF and manual notch. Let me turn those off and let you see his signal again. So the more narrow you set your filters, it is going to affect the S meter. We've talked about this in many previous videos. So there he is hitting about S3, but again, I'm using amp 2, so I'm boosting him. Here comes APF, audio peak filter. The audio peak filter will have no effect on the S meter. It's only boosting a frequency, 600 hertz in this case, whatever you have your side tone set to. Remember, you set your side tone here, CW pitch. That is your side tone. Okay, but watch the meter, and I'm going to turn on manual notch. See, it drops his signal, and that's because the S meter readings are coming off of the automatic gain control circuit, which is later here in the food chain, if you will, see? And the filter's ahead of that, so it's just going to cause the S meter, the voltage going to the S meter to drop a little bit, but who cares? It sounds better. There's without. There's with manual notch, and you can see the graphic Watch the graphic up here as I cycle that on and off.
There's a new spot on Soda Watch.
Audio peak filter switched over to contour. Now contour turned off, so all we have now is our 300 hertz filter. APF is engaged. See the graphic change? APF, contour. Of course, you use the same ring, the outer ring, to control contour that you use when you're using APF. See, with APF, the outer ring will slide it up and down in 10 hertz increments in case the signal you're listening to, the station you're listening to, is a little off frequency. What I tend to do is leave APF at 0 and then just adjust the frequency until I've got the person, in my sights, so to speak. Remember up here on your S meter, as long as that little white indicator is blinking underneath that red arrow, then you're right on them. Or you can press Zen. There, I was close. Zen's got him. 0 in. So he is actually dead on frequency at 14.057. And there is manual notch. No manual notch. Manual notch. So just like with that very first station when I started the video, it's the difference of being able to pull them out or not sometimes, getting this noise filtered out. And and like I said, it's sad enough, you get rid of all the noise that's coming in off the airwaves, but then you have that filter ripple, that ringing that's created by the actual filter itself. So that's where I go to the manual notch trick. So I can still hear him fairly well at 560.
There's a new spot on Soda Watch.
Okay, there we are without any help other than digital noise reduction. Now I just turned it off. APF, manual notch, digital noise reduction. And again, I've got it set at 15. Sometimes I may turn that down to 10 or 12. It depends on how much signal, how much gain I've got set here. Okay, well, I hope you found the video helpful and informative. And I want to again thank my Patreons for helping me keep the channel going. You guys are indispensable. It means so much to have some help to keep this going, and you guys partner with me, so you help me help others. So if anyone out there would like to become a Patreon, go to www.patreon.com/N4HNH, patreon.com/N4HNH. And of course, if you would, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That helps us as well. And if you do subscribe, be sure to click the bell so that you will be informed when I upload the next video and you won't miss any. Okay, hey, thanks for watching in 73 from N4HNH.